Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into something that, well, it quietly powers every single digital move your business makes. We're talking about how to transform your technology from something that just feels like a cost center, slowing you down, into the real engine of value for your company. And that brings us to a huge question, one that every leader really should be asking themselves. So let me just ask you this, right out of the gate. When you think about your company's technology, what's your gut feeling? Does it feel like this heavy anchor, making every little change slow, difficult, and painful? Or is it a powerful engine, the thing that's actually pushing you past the competition? Honestly, the answer to that question pretty much determines your future. Okay, so to figure out how to build that engine, we first need to look underground at the hidden digital foundation. The best way to think about it is like the foundation of a skyscraper. You never see it, you don't really think about it, but absolutely everything, every floor, every office, every window, depends on it being rock solid. And this quote right here, it just nails the massive shift we're all living through. Technology isn't just about keeping the lights on anymore, is it? It's how you build your products, it's how you serve your customers, it's how you grow. In today's economy, technology is the business. Now, you've probably heard the term ITIL before and maybe thought, oh, that's just some complex IT jargon. But ITIL 4 is, well, it's different. It's a modern playbook that's built for the world we live in now. So you can forget all about rigid, slow, bureaucratic processes. Instead, think agility, think speed, and think a relentless focus on creating actual business value. And deep inside this framework, there are three specific technical practices that are the real secret sauce. These are the nuts and bolts. They're the concrete and steel of that digital foundation we were talking about, the stuff that everything else gets built on top of. So, what are these foundational pillars, really? Let's break them down. Think of this next part as the actual blueprint for how you build, create, and deliver value to your customers using technology. So here they are. Infrastructure and platform management, software development and management, and deployment management. I know, it sounds super technical, right? But the concept behind it is actually really simple. You just need solid ground to build on, a way to actually construct the building, and then a safe, efficient way to move things into it for your customers. First up, infrastructure and platform management. This is the land you're building on and the concrete foundation you pour. It's all your servers, your cloud environments, your networks, and its entire job is just to be unshakably reliable so that everything you decide to build on top of it just works. No drama. The other two, well, they really work hand in hand. Software development is the actual act of building the valuable stuff, the custom rooms and cool services inside your building. And then deployment management. That's the super efficient, super safe logistics operation that moves those finished features to your customers without breaking anything or disrupting business. Now, here is where the magic really happens. We're going to look at the transformation from the old, slow, manual way of doing all this to a modern, automated approach. This is the big shift. This is what turns that heavy anchor into a high-performance engine. And the difference between these two worlds is, well, it's night and day. On the left, you've got the old way, slow, manual work that takes weeks and teams only finding problems after a customer complains. But on the right, you have the modern approach, systems that scale automatically, infrastructure ready in minutes, not weeks, and proactive management. This isn't just a small upgrade, it's a completely different league. So how does this speed happen? It's all about an automated pipeline. Picture a high-tech assembly line for your digital features. A developer checks in their code, and then automation just takes over. It builds it, tests it, scans it for security issues, and pushes it out to customers, all without a single human touching it. It's fast, it's reliable, and it's secure. But, of course, all this cool tech stuff is totally meaningless if it doesn't deliver real, tangible business results. So let's get to the part that really matters, the payoff. What do the numbers actually look like when you get this right? Let's start with the bottom line. A global retailer that modernized their foundation using these exact practices cut their infrastructure costs by 40%. Just take a second and think about what your business could do with that. That's money that goes straight from a cost center to your profit margin or gets reinvested in real innovation. Now, let's talk about speed. This chart right here, this is what a competitive advantage looks like in the 21st century. The time it took to get a new idea, a new feature, into the hands of customers went from weeks, sometimes even months, down to just a matter of hours. Imagine being able to respond to a competitor's move on the very same day. And what about risk? This is huge. A financial services firm used to have a success rate of about 70% for their deployments, which means nearly 1 out of every 3 changes caused some kind of problem. After they modernized, that rate jumped to a staggering 99.5%. That's a massive reduction in business risk, customer disruption, and, you guessed it, those late-night emergency phone calls for the team. And the impact on your customers is just as dramatic. We're talking about an 80% drop in service incidents caused by changes. What that really means is more stable services, much happier customers, and a support team that can finally focus on providing real value instead of just constantly fighting fires. So with all of that in mind, the question really turns back to your own organization. How can you know if your foundation is actually solid? How can you, as a leader, start asking the right questions to find out? I want you to think of this table as your personal translator. It connects the technical metrics that your teams are probably tracking on the left to the business outcomes that you care about on the right. So instead of asking, hey, what's our change failure rate? You can ask, how are we lowering business risk? This is how you start having a strategic conversation that turns technology into a true competitive weapon. And that leaves us with one last thought to chew on. We've seen the incredible benefits of getting this right, the cost savings, the blinding speed, the rock-solid reliability. So the real question to take back to your next leadership meeting isn't about what it costs to strengthen your foundation. It's about this. What is the very real and very high cost to your business of not doing it?